Okay, y'all, how y'all doing? This is a look y'all about to see. My black version of the Queen of Hearts. Absolutely lovely. I started off blotching off my eyebrows before I even came to the camera. This blockout was a lot better than yesterday's blockout. You can still tell like a little bit of hair, but most of it is blacked out. A lot of this look is going to be, let's say, 75%. No, let's say 90% paint. Makeup was basically full face. I literally blotted out my eyebrows and just went over my entire face with foundation. And that was about it. And then I literally did concealer up under my eyes. And the reason why I did the concealer and everything else already. And I'm gonna talk about this makeup. I'm just trying to explain to you how I get the idea of getting this. And then after I can put foundation, concealer under my eyes and whatever, I got some translucent powder and went crazy on my face. Covered every inch of my face, bottom, everything. And right here, if you ever seen the Queen of Hearts of or people doing the Queen of Hearts, it's always one bigger red eye versus a smaller blue eye. I had planned to do two different Queens of Hearts this month. So this one was going to be this idea of my Queen of Hearts versus whenever I do my next Queen of Hearts. After you see me do this one, I do make this red side bigger a little bit. This is one I made that outline a little bit bigger because I realized it wasn't big enough for the look I'm going to. I'm about to be quiet while y'all just see me paint what I'm about to paint, and then I'll come back in when we're doing some shading or something else besides. So here I'm taking the paint palette from Mior. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry, company. I do love your products. I've been trying to buy your products from for several years. So look out, love y'all. Don't want to be too picky, but I do love y'all. I always love seeing dramatic makeup, so this was like the first year that I wasn't so close to my parents where they will complain about the looks that I'm trying to pull. And the reason why I put the V on first was just to see like where the triangle, the heart was going to be, not the triangle, the heart was going to be. So basically, I just curve out the heart. And if you do it the way I just did it by drawing the two lines first, you're basically drawing the two lines and curving around the two lines. That's basically the easiest way I can explain you how to make this heart. Make the V on your eyelid and then round out the edges of the heart. And right here, the reason why I didn't pull up my skin on this one. I started to realize every time I was pulling up my skin, it was making me think that was the same length as the other eye. So I was like, let me just leave it the way it is, and then I will pull up from there. I will paint from there. which this came out a lot better because it made the we'll go with the smaller brush to get up under my eye and make that white heart come out looking supreme. So at the end of the day, we're gonna get the small brush and try to perfect my little heart over my eye. Like I said, we use the smaller brush to get closer to the line, make it sharp, make it precise. And I know like my face expressions are going kind of crazy just because I had to kind of stretch out my face in certain areas to make it look smoother than non-smooth. For under my eye, I am going to pull down my skin, and the reason why I pulled down my skin, everybody understands if you're the older you get more fine little lines up under your eyes. Just to make sure I didn't like have gaps, and to make the pit go over those little creases versus like a smooth sheet of paper and I'm just painting over. I just stretched out my eye to make all those little lines disappear, and then we paint it on in. I did kind of fan it out a little bit, that way the bottom of my eye would be able to crease, would not like dry and kind of crease when it dried. The reason why I put this white powder on top of this was it was to help it set a little bit more and then help the paint to dry a little bit more quicker without it budging. And another thing I realized, if you do this on top of like, how can I put it? When you take your pictures, the white powder makes the white in the pictures stand out more. So the white shadow in the pictures make it stand out more. You really didn't see me do the neck piece, but I even went on the neck squares, the white squares, and put white powder after I took the first few pictures, because you completely saw the difference of the light shade from the white I put over the powder white I put over my eyes versus what was on my neck. So if you plan to do this and you're a dark skinned person, put the white powder down. It will save your life. And I'm not talking about translucent white powder. I'm talking about eyeshadow white powder. It will change your life. It's going to make the picture look like you took I don't know. It just makes the white looks brighter when you take your pictures if you put the powder on top of it. Don't know how it works. I've seen it. It works. So white eyeshadow on top of the white makeup makes your white in your pictures come out on a whole nother level. This right here is another detail brush, and this brush is really a pointy, it's called a pointy line brush. So I'm just using it to outline the blue heart on my right eye, I want to say.
I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited.
Once again, I stretch the skin out just to make sure I can get a smooth line with no creases, no inner fold. And from right here, I'm going to go in with this Morphe palette, don't remember the name, and go in with this dark blue at the corner. And I am just going to surround the entire heart with this. You're just going to keep on going around, and you're going to kind of blend it out for it to be a gradient around the entire eye. We are working around the entire circumference of the eye and over your part of the eyebrow where, over the part of the makeup where the eyeshadow has to go over your eyebrows. You will have to kind of pat it inside the hair creases. Hopefully my next go around my eyebrows will come out a little bit more smoother and more stuck to my face. So yeah, and as you see, I'm gonna go completely around the entire eye. And after I do this, you don't see it, but I do get a somewhat, not a bigger brush, but a somewhat smaller brush, and I lightly kind of blend out that darker blue. So as you can see, I'm going completely around the entire heart around my eye. Right here, I'm just going in with that white detailing brush and making sure I completely go all on the inside, making sure that blue is a clean line on the inside with the white, just to have a perfect transition. Well, not even transition, just a perfect line from the blue to the white. So I'm just really going in there and just tapping up, you know what I'm saying? The few little mistakes I made, the few little hiccups, we should call them, that I made just to make this eye look crisp and absolutely perfect. We are going to go in with this same black pencil that we used for my other makeup look. And honestly, this is the cheapest black pencil eyeliner you're going to find. I found it at the dollar store, and I really mean Dollar Tree, and it was for $1. So you don't have to worry about going to get you a very expensive black eyeliner. All you need is a sharpener. That way, every time you use it, you can sharpen it back up and you can get that point to get the lines you need to get. Besides that, don't worry about it. Like, you can spend $1 on this and get the same amount of look. So, just let you know. But I hope y'all enjoyed this look. I hope y'all love this look. This was a very, let's say, interesting look for me. So I'm about to just go in the entire inner line of this heart with this black, and then I'm going to get a black eyeshadow and then kind of blend it out, and then it's just going to be a whole smoky idea to the side of the face.
I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited.
This is where I'm kind of like fluttering it out a little bit. Right now, I'm gonna go back in with that same Morphe palette and go in with the jet black in the corner. I'm gonna get a small pencil brush, get in the black, and I'm just gonna go on the outer end of the inner part of this heart and literally go all the way around. Inner part of the eye and go all the way around. Tap, 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 tap. Go all the way on the inner parts, or the outer inner parts, however you want to say it and however you want to word it. But just make sure you're going around the entire inner red part of the heart. And from here, I'm going to get another brush, a slightly bigger blending brush. And I am going to go, I think it was called Britain Red or Brick. It's not the brightest red in this palette. If y'all watched me before, this is my, it's not Morphe. I think it's called Dreamscape. I forgot the name of the company right now, which is kind of weird for me. But at this point, it's one of my favorite eyeshadows to use as far as a new palette. I got it almost, let's say, a year ago, I think. And I do need to upgrade on my palettes. I keep on saying it, but with me moving and everything now, I know for a fact I'm not about to upgrade on any of my palettes because it's going to be a very hard thing to actually film since I'm going back home for about 6 months. But I am going to try to record and still film, you know, my normal stuff. So hopefully I can. But right here, it's just gonna be a lot of blending on this eye. I'll come back to you and talk a little bit later after this blending's done. Once again, if you realize I skip a lot of this makeup and been hopping around a lot during this makeup because this makeup is gonna be too long if I didn't hop around and skip around on it. So right now I'm just going to get the smallest detail brush I have in my kit and I am going to do the most finest outline that you can ever do. This line was not supposed to be super thick, it was just supposed to be barely there. So I got the smallest detail liner brush I had, which I think is a 0.001. And then I made my outline. So just like before, you're going to need a brush to clean up the little areas that you messed up. So right now I'm going to take a little bit of my foundation color and just go lightly tap the outside of the parts where the makeup or the eyeshadow kind of went past the black intended line. And I just go with a little foundation and then lightly clean it up. Right now, I'm going to start off with the bottom of my neck or my face, which will be the choker of this look. And we're basically getting a, honestly, if anybody has ever seen the Japanese idea of calligraphy, that's what this brush gives me. It's like a pointy, if y'all ever seen a calligraphy brush, y'all will understand what I'm talking about. It literally gives you the feel of a Japanese calligraphy brush, which is like a pointy tip and a big barrel for the body. So mind you, I did start from my neck all the way down in the pictures. Well, I did take a couple pictures where you saw the bottom of my neck, but looking straight forward, you weren't able to see the entire choker. And the reason why I did it like that, if you can ever remember like the old 18th century chokers, the chokers came up majority of their neck. Even if it was a really big flu, like, how do I call it, dress pins or dress pin-ups, it was still majority up close to like their face area. So it was all the way up their neck. That was the idea that I had for this, was literally a choker that will go up and extend like a old version choker versus it just covering your neck part of the choker. And like I tell everybody before this, my makeup looks are from different people's idea of Pinterest. Like the eye part of my makeup came from Pinterest, but it wasn't necessarily a person's look. As far as one blue eye, one black eye, that's how it went. It's just the inside part of the eye is different than what I originally wanted to see. So I always look at their looks and try to either add to it or take away from it depending on how the look looks. The neck piece was the idea from, it was another lady that did a Queen of Hearts, but her middle piece, which was where my shoelaces was, had a blue heart and a red heart that was in different sizes from each other. And mind you, for my next Queen of Hearts, my neck will probably look more like that versus anything else. Or, I don't know. But I know I'm going to do a different Queen of Hearts. So at this point, I honestly believe this was the best Queen of Hearts that I did for this time and in this moment. And as far as the bottom, the curve ends, I don't know if anybody can remember cartoons as much as I do or like cartoons as much as I did. If you could ever remember, I think it was like the 1980s, well, 1998 Batman and Robin cartoon versions when Harley Quinn had a neck piece that would connect to her head, and she had like these two big, I don't know, horns or whatever that had little bells on the end. That's where I came up with the idea of these little pointy choker parts on the bottom of my piece. Mind you, the person that did post it online, it wasn't like these little pointy things. It was more of a velvet, which is a C going the opposite way around. So it was more of like a clown idea of it had like little balls or curve areas not going in but out. But for what I was going for and the idea that I wanted to pull, the pointy look is a lot better for me. I love the idea of the pointy look. I love the idea that it's super pointy. And honestly, you're not going to see the whole neck as far as the shading and everything else I did because my camera cut off and it didn't work out the way I planned. But this is about as much as you're going to see as far as like the neck and stuff. And mind you, eventually by next year, I will have multiple batteries and you'll be able to see the entire look all the way through. But this time, I was short on battery time and space. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you. Like, subscribe. Deuces.